Hi, I'm Ishita.
And I'm Robert, and you're watching episode 5 of Fast Frames, Mindsets and Movements.
In this final episode, we're exploring how an understanding of mindsets, framing, and narratives can supercharge social change.
Anyone who has been working on social change knows it's a long game. Short-term wins are really important, like getting a piece of legislation passed. But when it comes to the biggest social issues of our time, from racial justice to workforce and labor issues to climate change, many of our deeply held patterns in thinking will need to shift in order to get to the world we want to see.
Paying attention to cultural mindsets can be make or break for social movements. If our social change work only focuses on short-term goals like policy or practice changes, momentum can lull once that objective has been achieved. Most importantly, the wins remain tenuous and can be rolled back, like what's happening with reproductive justice in the United States. Without a focus on shifting the deeply rooted cultural mindsets that hinder progress, we miss the opportunity to create cultural pressure and demand for lasting structural change.
For example, the Affordable Care Act was a groundbreaking piece of legislation, but because mindsets about healthcare hadn't changed significantly, that legislation felt tenuous even after it had passed. For lasting social change, we need to create new norms in how people think and feel.
Because cultural mindsets are so powerful, it really takes a wide and deep combination of strategies working together over years, decades, and even generations to shift them. And a key part of that work is shifting the dominant narratives that we see and hear.
But what does that look like in practice? Here are some tips and strategies we've developed in partnership with social movements over the last 25 years. Number 1, make moving mindsets a part of your work. How are things like individualism, otherism, and fatalism expressed when it comes to your issue? Maybe individualism shows up in an overemphasis on people's personal choices, resulting in less attention being paid to the bigger picture structural changes that are also necessary. Once you locate your biggest cultural obstacles on the map and develop mindset shift goals that align with your mission, you can start to commit the time and resources you need to make that happen.
Number 2, gather the information you need. In addition to what we communicate, how we say what we have to say has a deep effect on which mindsets are activated. We need to know which narratives are standing in the way of the mindsets we want to activate, which stories we should tell, and how we can effectively reframe our communications in order to shift cultural mindsets over time. For example, if our goal is to build demand for youth mental health supports, we need to know that the dominant mindset is that each person's health is their own responsibility. And then we need a strong reframing strategy to bring the structures and systems that help young people thrive into view.
Number 3, cultivate an ecosystem of allies with shared goals. Moving mindsets isn't the work of a single communicator, strategist, organization, or field. It's the work of multiple cross-issue movements, and ideally includes others who hold narrative power. Think journalists, creatives, and other prominent cultural voices. For example, the movement working to combat ageism doesn't just involve advocates. It also involves researchers, practitioners, activists, and healthcare and social service providers working in tandem.
And here's a bonus tip. Be prepared to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Moving mindsets and changing narratives isn't straightforward or linear, so be prepared and make sure you're ready to assess your progress along the way so you know what's working and what isn't.
That's it for episode 5. Take a look at the resources linked in the description for more information.
To learn more about mindsets and framing, check out our other Fast Frames series on this channel or visit frameworksinstitute.org for a full library of resources. Thanks for joining us.